What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, the stimulus package update, which is now expected to be somewhere between $2 and $3 trillion. Daily news, pretty much everything you need to know about money, investing, the stock market, and I will keep you updated on the debt limit ceiling, which they're expected to be voting on here tonight. Very crucial information on a deal between the Republicans and the Democrats to prevent the U.S. government from defaulting, a first ever default, which we do not want to happen. I'm going to give you the latest details on that and the stimulus package as they near the finish line, as the Democrats are nearing an agreement just among themselves. Remember that this next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, is going to be passed only among the Democrats. So I'm going to give you the latest details on all that here in this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. And if you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. The White House calls the debt ceiling compromise a positive step forward as we have an agreement or a deal between both the Republicans and the Democrats. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell have locked in a deal to vote on the debt limit ceiling tonight, later on Thursday night. Here's the details.
Breaking news on the debt ceiling. Elon Moy has that for us. Elon.
Well, Wilford, the Senate will now vote tonight on that debt limit deal. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said the Senate will have 4 hours of debate over the agreement and then move into final passage. There had been some last-minute wrangling over how this deal would go down, as some GOP senators were unhappy about the idea of just moving to a simple up or down vote. Now the Senate will take that key procedural step as well that will require both Republicans and Democrats to vote to advance this bill. Still, it is expected to pass sometime tonight. Then, of course, it will need to head to the House before it can go to the president's desk for his signature. But again, we should start to see the resolution of this debt ceiling drama in the Senate tonight when they hold that vote. Guys.
But then do we do it all over again in December?
We do. Stay tuned for part 2, Sarah.
Yeah, so stay tuned for part 2. As Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says, the Senate will vote tonight on the debt limit increase agreement. But as everybody's holding their breath to see if this is going to pass, there's an agreement between the leaders, but there's several Republicans in the Senate, including Republican Senator Lindsey Graham and growing number of Republican senators saying they don't want this deal. Will the deal pass? It's expected to pass, but nothing's set in stone until it actually happens. So remember that, as you heard there's going to be 4 hours of debate, so it could be a long night. Remember, I will keep you updated. There will be another video at 10 a.m. in the morning where I will keep you updated if the vote happens tonight. Remember, new videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If this vote passes, remember, it's only a 2-month extension of the debt limit. So we're kicking the can down the road for 2 months, and then we'll be in this situation again. Mitch McConnell, the leader of the Republicans, is basically saying he's giving the Democrats 2 months to pass this debt limit or to raise the debt ceiling. And next time around, he's going to force the Democrats to do it through the reconciliation process, which is the process that the Democrats are going to pass this next stimulus package through. Why they don't just raise it for at least a year or get rid of it, I don't know. But also, interestingly enough, is that the government shutdown was raised until early December as well. So we're going to have to deal with that as well in early December again. So, yeah. If that bill passes, so let's keep our fingers crossed. Remember, the default is a very, very big thing because, as we've seen the president say, both Mitch McConnell and Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Bernie Sanders, that we can't have a government default. Social Security payments are at risk. Payments to the military, servicemen are at risk. Bondholder payments are at risk. The full faith and credit of the United States are at risk. So, at least the Republicans have come around and offered an olive branch to pass this 2-month extension. Everybody can breathe a sigh of relief if the bill passes tonight. They're going to have 4 hours of debate, which is quite a long time, as you heard from the announcer there, that Republican senators were not going to just let an easy up-down vote happen. So there is a little bit of contention there between the Republican senators. So we'll have to see how the vote goes down. It's probably going to be a very late, long vote. Sometimes they do these votes literally at 2 a.m. in the morning. I've made the mistake of staying up late, and I don't make those mistakes very often anymore to stay up and see how long they're going to vote. So I don't know. We will see, but I will keep you updated. Moving on to the stimulus package. President Biden and Senator Joe Manchin have met today on the stimulus package, the reconciliation package. Remember, Senator Joe Manchin, who is, I think he's still a Democrat, have met on the reconciliation package as they're trying to get his vote and to see how far up he will come on the price tag of the stimulus package. President Biden met with Senator Joe Manchin, Democrat from West Virginia, on Thursday about his economic agenda as the president tries to unify the Democrats behind a compromise reconciliation package containing many of his priorities. The White House confirmed this meeting, which took place privately before Biden headed to Chicago for an event to promote vaccinations Thursday afternoon. The president and Senator Manchin had a good conversation about the president's Build Back Better agenda, which is the two packages combined, the stimulus package and the physical infrastructure package. White House Deputy Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters aboard Air Force One, quote, "We're staying in close touch about this. We're talking to him and also his team. I don't have specifics about the meeting beyond that." A spokesperson for Manchin declined to offer any details on the meeting, which took place at the White House. Biden told reporters earlier this week that he believed Manchin was, quote, moving. And Biden also indicated that he would sign a reconciliation bill if it contained the controversial Hyde Amendment, a demand of Manchin's that has generated oppositions from other members of the party regarding abortion. When I've asked Senator Manchin as well as Senator Sinema to do is to decide what it is that they'd like in the Build Back Better and then move from there. Biden told reporters earlier this week when asked about negotiations with the two moderate senators. By the way, Senator Kirsten Sinema, who's also been under a lot of public scrutiny to say the least, both Kirsten Sinema and Senator Joe Manchin have been the subject of protesters, kayaktivists, and protesters. Senator Joe Manchin had some kayaktivists. What an interesting word, kayaktivists, where protesters on kayaks called kayaktivists actually got on kayaks and boats and went to his $700,000 yacht. And if you've seen that video, you know what I'm talking about here on the show. And protested him not passing the bill and wanting to lower the bill and pretty much everything he's been doing with this package. And Senator Kirsten Sinema got protested in the bathroom of Arizona State University. Can't make this stuff up. And that had a lot of backlash as well. And in fact, President Joe Biden, check this out. President Biden says that the activists went too far in confronting Senator Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, but says, quote, "It happens to everybody." President Biden said on Monday that activists who confronted Senator Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema in recent days went too far and even described such confrontations as a common facet of life in politics. I definitely don't think that the activists that confronted Joe Manchin went too far at all. I didn't think there was anything wrong there at all. The Kirsten Sinema one was debatable for sure, following her in the bathroom. I think there was even a man that went in the woman's bathroom after her. Definitely debatable there. I seen a lot of comments in the comment section. Some people saying, yeah, they went too far. Some people saying, no, they didn't go too far at all. They deserved it. I definitely seen a lot of back and forth. Some people saying, no, Jimmy, they didn't go too far at all. They deserve more. I seen some people saying, yeah, they definitely went too far. I would have been, if that was me. I seen some women saying, yeah, if that was me, I would have been concerned for my safety. I definitely seen a lot of people say, no, they didn't go too far. Yeah, they went too far. No, they should have went farther. Yeah, they've been holding up the stimulus package. I definitely seen a lot of difference of opinion. I can definitely respect both sides there. As a realist, I always try to look at both sides of the coin, and I can definitely understand the Joe Manchin protest. I didn't see anything wrong with that at all. In fact, nothing, no issues there at all. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. I mean, I definitely try to read through a lot of the comments. I mean, I get over 1,000 comments on each video on average, but President Biden said this is common, absolutely common for senators, especially during a controversial thing like this. If you're voting no on a big bill like this, absolutely common. Yeah, so Biden says he even describes such confrontations as a common facet of life in politics. He says, quote, I don't think they're appropriate tactics, but it happens to everybody. Biden says in a question and answer session with reporters following a speech he gave about the debt ceiling. Yeah, so Biden definitely said that the activists went too far. In confronting Cinema and Manchin. I'm not sure that he means Manchin per se, but that it does happen to everybody. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. Another thing that they're fighting for right now, House Democrats are urging leaders to keep housing in the reconciliation bill. There's a lot of, now that we're getting close to agreeing on a top line number, which is going to be somewhere probably around mid $2 trillion. My guess is going to be somewhere around 2.2 to 2.5 trillion dollars. They're now going to start working on the details like this. House Democrats are pushing President Biden and party leaders to keep more than $300 billion in this bill for affordable housing in their sprawling social services and climate bill. In a letter released Wednesday night, every Democrat on the House Financial Service Committee urged Biden and Speaker Nancy Pelosi and Senate Democrat Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to spare a historical investment in housing amid a historic rise in home prices and rents. I think a lot of people in the comment section would agree with that. It is abundantly clear that we need long-term equitable measures to help families recover from the effects of the pandemic by investing in housing stabilization, job creation, and increased economic opportunities, said Democratic Representative Maxine Waters. As we continue to work together to pass a broad ranging of comprehensive infrastructure plan, we cannot ignore the immediate housing infrastructure needs facing individual families and communities throughout the U.S., just as we need to invest in our nation's roads and bridges. The Financial Services Panel last month approved hundreds of billions of dollars in funding for public housing repairs, expansions, tax credits, and incentives meant to increase the private supply of affordable housing and payment assistance programs for first-time or low-income aspiring homeowners. So that's an important detail there that we really don't know a lot about, until they write the bill and it passes and stuff like that. Affordable housing and payment assistance programs for first-time or low-income aspiring homeowners. First-time or low-income aspiring homeowners. And I will bring this up, my stimulus provisions being discussed, because we do have two bills in the past that mention a potential $15,000 to $25,000 home buyer tax credit. One of these bills in the past, I know this just from memory, had a $15,000 to $25,000 tax credit that would actually be applied to closing. So when you go to buy a home, this would actually, there was a couple different bills here. So I'm just going to go by some of the details I have from memory. And again, none of this is set in stone until they pass a bill, put this in writing. So again, this is just kind of some ideas that they've had in the past. But one of the bills had it where you would actually get this tax credit would apply to an actual down payment. Okay. So this tax credit would apply right at closing. So you wouldn't have to wait until tax time when you get a tax refund. You would get this tax credit right at closing. So let's say you got a $25,000 tax credit for when you go to buy a home, and it would apply for, if depending on how they write the bill and stuff, it could apply for recent home buyers if you bought a home in the last 3 years. If you go to buy a home and you go to close on the home, and let's just say you qualify for a $25,000 home buyer credit, bam, you get it as a down payment. Okay. So what they're going to do is that money would just go right to the bank and apply as your down payment. So it's basically like you're going to, this is part of how like stimulus packages work, right? If you think about all the different stimulus provisions, they've had unemployment money, they've had SNAP money, they've had PPP money, Paycheck Protection Program money, all these different type of like grant programs and first time home buyer programs and all these different type of stimulus programs that have been available. Um, Rental programs, rent assistance programs. I mean, we've had so many different people on the channel or viewers of the channel that have gotten 3 months of their rent paid, 6 months of their rent paid, 12 months of their rent paid. If you get 12 months of your rent paid, you're talking about over $10,000, right? If your rent is $1,000 a month, you're talking about $12,000 or more of rent. Okay. So those are all types of different programs that come from these stimulus packages. So one of these is a potential home buyer credit. And they're talking about this right now. And this is one of the possibilities that could be in this program or in the next stimulus program. And one of these type of programs could be actually at closing, or it could be a tax credit when you do your taxes. Okay. So the tax credit could be when you go to buy a home, you actually get it as a down payment of closing. You don't actually get the money in your pocket, but when you go to close, it's like, bam, you get it as a credit for closing. So you may have no money for a down payment, but the credit actually goes right to the bank, and it's as if you had a $10 or $25,000 down payment for closing. So it can be really, really cool. And it's kind of like rental assistance, but for home buyers. So yeah, they have some really, really cool programs that come out of these different stimulus packages. And that's why when we talk about stimulus package, you got to think of a huge package with all sorts of different things in there. And when I bring up this list, you got to really look at all the different things that are on this list. And when we think about the third stimulus check package, there's all sorts of different things in there. Paycheck Protection Program money, which is one of the things that could be in this next program as well. Rent assistance, which is right here. Child tax credits, which are those monthly stimulus checks that are going out to 65 million children right now. $250 to $300 per month. They want to extend that right now. Remember, if they don't pass this bill, those are going to stop at the end of this year. You're still going to get the first 6 months on your tax return that you file for 2021. But those monthly payments are going to stop at the end of December if they don't pass this package here by the end of December. Medicare expansion for seniors, hearing, dental, vision, denture coverage, hearing aid coverage, lower the Medicare eligibility age to age 60. Huge Medicare expansion for seniors. And of course, the healthcare industry and the prescription drug lobbyists, they don't want this to happen. Lower prescription drug prices. Anybody that has prescriptions, that you guys want this to happen because you're likely going to see lower prescription drugs. Every time you buy a prescription drugs, think of savings in your pocket. How much it's going to be, well, we really don't know the details, and it's going to be different for every single person. But that's a savings that could literally add up every single time you get a prescription over the course of your life. So those savings can really add up over time, every single time you get a prescription. So there's really a lot of things in here. 2 years of free community college, which is a really great thing going for our country going forward. I think later on they could add 4 years of community college. Student loan forgiveness, they've already done $10 billion of it. mostly for people with disabilities, their schools closed on them, or their school defrauded on them. We're going to see a lot more of that in the future. I will keep you up to date on that. We just had the 25% SNAP increase for people that get SNAP, also known as the food stamp program. That's a permanent increase. That's kicked in October. I have seen a lot of comments from people saying, yes, Jimmy, I did get it. I've seen a few people say they didn't get it. Also, I want to note that each state can be different. Each state can be different. I've seen some comments from some people saying our state is actually continuing the pandemic increases. So again, each state can be different. I know some states are a little bit stingier than others. Some states are saying they're not going to be doing some pandemic increases, or their state is opting out of SNAP increases. So yeah, each state of 50 different states are doing SNAP increases a little bit different. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But there are a lot of different programs on the horizon for this next stimulus package. And I will keep you up to date as we get more details on this package. There's going to be a lot of details unfolding. Once we get the bill, we're going to be learning a lot of details little by little, even after they pass the bill. Then we're going to start kind of unfolding all the details, and there'll probably even be some hidden kind of nuggets in there. Remember that $50 internet bill discount where you get $50 off your internet bill? And a lot of our viewers have literally been getting that for how many months has that been now? 4 months now. Every single month, you get that from getemergencybroadband.org. That's the website. That's kind of one of those little hidden nuggets in there, along with rent assistance. I'll link you to a video on how to get rent assistance. One of our viewers just got over $13,000 of rent assistance just recently. We've had so many viewers get rent assistance for thousands of dollars. I'll link you to a video on how to get that. But once they pass this bill, there's probably going to be all sorts of little things in there that you might be able to get, apply for, share with your friends and family so that they can apply for it. And hopefully we can help out as many of our community members as possible so we can just get all these things that are going to be in this package. So it's probably going to take a lot of digging, and I'll find as many of these things as possible. Like that internet broadband bill, we didn't even know about that at first, and it was something that came out like, I don't know, weeks after we found out, after the package passed. Then it was like something that we found out. It wasn't something that we found out like the day after the bill passed, because the bill was thousands of pages, and it was something that we found out like a little bit afterwards, because it wasn't like part of the breaking news in there. It was something that, like, some of these, sometimes these little provisions, they take time to set up and then they come out. And honestly, if you think about the average everyday person, they don't know about getemergencybroadband.org. If you went and asked your neighbor, they have no idea that program exists. In fact, if they don't watch the It's Jimmy show here on YouTube, most people don't know about that. So I'll be letting you know about all these programs that I find out once this bill passes. And honestly, there's going to be more packages after this. The Democrats have a full 12 months to pass more packages like this, Social Security raises, and everything that they're honestly going to try to pass more packages with the reconciliation process over the course of the next 12 months. So I'll keep you up to date with everything going on here in our country, in Congress, as well as daily news you need to know about here on this channel. So make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's literally completely free to do so, and I will keep you up to date with everything. You can click here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is how you can get rent assistance completely for free by the government. We had a viewer get up to $13,000, over $13,000. So yeah, click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.